Hi friends, Kevin Goehring, your Sacramento, Stockton area realtor and lender here with this week's weekly real estate report. Well, I would say the number one question I'm getting from most people I talk to about real estate is, Kevin, are we headed for a housing crash? Well, I would love to say something positive and say, well, no, absolutely not. Everything's going to be fine. Everything's going to be normal. But the truth of the situation is there is a recipe for disaster being brewed as we speak. So let me talk about that in just a minute. But first, let me get to the chart and show you what is happening right now. Well, the green line down here, which represents the number of available homes on the market, continues to climb. Great news for a normal market. Great news for home buyers. Maybe not the best news for home sellers because there is more of an opportunity, or there's more inventory, more choices for buyers to take a look at. But this is more of a return to a normal market. Pending sales is dropping off. Now, in a normal market, I would expect to see this green line, available homes, to be climbing right now. That's normal. That's good. Normal is good. This blue line, pending sales reported for each week, should have been more of a level off and then started to drop in the last week or two. So it's not too terribly far from normal. But what we've been keeping an eye on the last few weeks are these numbers right here. Now, the gold line is the median sales price, what homes are in fact selling for, and it is just holding steady, which in a lot of ways is good news for sellers. It hasn't dropped off. But what is not such good news, what is behind the scenes here, right here, this line right here represents the median list price. What is happening right now? And that list price is starting to drop. So more and more homes are being listed for less. Now, let's take a look at chart number 2 and let me show you what's going on with this line right here. This represents price reductions per week. You see a problem happening right now? Well, I don't know. The problem seems to be that a lot of sellers and a lot of agents have overlisted a house. They went for too much. Now the house is sitting around doing nothing, no buyers, and they're having to reduce the price to get some activity. That's returning to a normal market. So I think that's good news for buyers. The takeaway for sellers is don't list too high. Be careful with that one. All right, so getting back to the recipe for disaster that I mentioned. So before we talk about that, let me just jump right into rates. Rates this week went back up. 5.09 last week. This week we're at 5.23 according to Freddie Mac average with 0.9 of a point. Now, when we take a look at the last housing market crash, a lot of people pointed to the fact that lending was too easy. We had what they called liar loans. And I hate to use that term because it was set up by the banks. You weren't a liar for doing it. It's just they were stated income. They would ask you, state your income. How much do you make? And oh, by the way, you had better give me this particular number or your loan won't work. So clients were advised to do this. All right. And we did a lot of very risky loans, adjustable rate mortgages, the pick-a-pay loan where we had negative amortization and so forth. But this time everybody says it's different. Almost all of the loans being done were 30-year fixed rate mortgages where your payment is continually fixed. It doesn't go up. But right now, lenders are pushing adjustable rate mortgages like I haven't seen in a very long time. And the reason being is because rates have gone up. So, Mr. and Mrs. Borrower, right now the average 30-year fixed rate is 5.23. I can do better than that. How does 4.2 sound to you? That sounds a lot better. We can get that payment down there and tell you what you can do. Now, this is an adjustable, but it's going to be fixed for 5 years. It's going to be fixed for 7. You don't have anything to worry about because when rates go back up later on, you know what? You just refinance out of this. Don't even worry about it. Sound good to you? Well, that's the sales pitch that everybody's getting right now. No, that's completely horrible because let me tell you what's going to happen. This is what happened last time. So yes, you get into adjustable rate mortgage that is fixed for 5-7 years. So you know what your payment is. Now, where do you think rates are going to go? Keeping in mind that the historical average for rate, 30-year fixed rates, is a little under 8%, and we're at 5%. So I believe it's a good chance we're going to settle into probably a 6, 7%, maybe 8% range for a very long time. Now, adjustable rate mortgages, when they adjust, they can usually have adjustment caps. They can go up to 5% over. So, wow, let's just say today you got a wonderful 4.5% rate. 5 years from now, it adjusts to full adjustment. You go from 4.5 to 9.5. That is going to be a huge hit for you. In fact, if you have a $400,000 loan, that would be a payment jump of over $1,300 in 1 month. So that's what's going to happen. And let's make it worse. Okay, so you can't refinance into a 30-year fixed because 30-year fixed rates are higher, and you're still going to get into a higher rate. And oh, by the way, where do you think home prices are going to go? I mean, we are way up here. I think we're going to see home prices fall. So you're going to lose equity, so you can't refinance. So if you can't refinance because you lost equity, and you can't refinance because the rate that you would get is just too high, it's higher than what you have anyway, then you're kind of stuck. And that's exactly what happened during our last market crash. People lost their equity on adjustable rates when they were promised they could refi out. So, caution. I've always said, since the day I got into this business, it's been over 20 years now as a lender, I've always advised my clients, get into a 30-year fixed rate mortgage. That's your best bet. That's your safest bet. Now, the counter argument to that would be most people move, sell, or refinance every 5 years. Well, you wouldn't have to refinance if you had a nice 30-year fixed rate mortgage in there and you're safe. Moving, that's a whole nother story. So anyway, could go on and on with that, but that's what's happening this week in real estate. Just want to caution you, hey, if you're out there looking, it's things are getting better. Yes, rates have gone up. I think home prices are going to fall, but please be careful with the adjustable rate mortgages. That's my tip for today. Have a great weekend. Talk to you next week. Bye.